Yeah, I'm supposed to do living for you today. How you gonna go live on all the channels but not living for you? Then you gotta get your mind right. I'm almost there. Hey, shalom, 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 family. Welcome back to Invest in Yahuwah, brought to you by the ministry Living for Yahuwah. And today we back to talk about more investment in our daily market review series. Again, we general financial literacy advocates and financial advisory, right? That means we are financially literate people. We teach financial literacy to children and adults, right? And we are money managers, asset managers, financial strategists, and we give advice, right? That is a separate thing, right? This is not investment advice, but we have separate business, and we can talk to you personally about your financial situation in a one-on-one call. But what we want to get on, or we want to do with this series is get on every day and make sure we cover the markets. That's what I'm getting at. That's why we come in every day, because it's not only talking about the stock market or just Forex or just cryptocurrency or just futures or options. So much to be covered, commodities, real estate, everything. All these things, different asset classes have to be covered. And it's not just stocks, So much to talk about. We want to get in contact daily and have a different focus every day as far as the investment coverage goes. Okay. So that's first of all. So thanks for being with us. We are live streaming right now on Invest in Yahuwah YouTube, Twitch.yahoo, and Invest in Yahuwah Instagram, and wherever you at, wherever you looking at, wherever you following in from, wherever you see this live, whenever you hear my voice, make sure you tap in. If you find yourself listening, tap in. Let us know that you tapped in by checking in, like it, subscribe, all that. Just let us know you was here. Very simply. So I'm Daliahu Yasharal from Invest in Yahuwah, and we'll be back for another day. So today is May 30th. It's a quote unquote Thursday, and today we're gonna look at commodities. And commodities, I'm gonna describe it for you guys. For those who may not know what's commodities, I'm gonna share my screen. But basically, when I think about commodities, you think about silver, gold, precious metals. But it's so much. It's that and so much more. And it's very important to keep an eye on these things, because these are a very special asset class. It's not too many times you find asset classes that are decoupled, or how do they call it? Basically decoupled. It's not tied to the stock market, right? It's an inverse relationship. So most things, as the stock market go up or down, those other things go up or down, right? It's like an inverse relationship, though. It's like a correlated. It's uncorrelated, right? Commodities are uncorrelated to a lot of the other investments we talked about, right? They kind of all move together in like an ETF type of fashion. Like, ETFs and index funds really change the market as far as basically making all your investments and everything in your portfolio is pretty much correlated. When one go up, they all go up. When one go down, they all go down, right? But that's not the case with commodities, especially commodities like silver and gold. And I've always been advocate for gold, wearing gold, having gold items, gold rings, gold chains. I think that's really embody a lot of the culture where I came from. So we always have had a portion of our portfolio in commodities, whether we realize that or not. So I think I'm gonna that's part of staying true to who I am, what I do. So we're gonna talk about commodities and look at more charts. But again, all at this point in day and age, all financial instruments, financial investments, and derivatives are able to be charted. And we're gonna do some fundamental analysis, like looking at the core of what is some of these things. But we have to look at the charts as well, see where it's at, see where it's going, and that's how we make trades. Educated guess, but we increase our probability, right, of winning when we invest. Y'all tighten up. Hold up, turn me up, man. Turn me up. Let me get my mind right, baby. Hold up. Keep it. I don't want to be too distracted. But yeah, so Let's get into some chart. I like it better the other way. Like, only more like this on top of my head. Yeah, anyway, man, I ain't gonna play with my hat too much. But thanks for being with us. Again, tap in with us, living for Yahuwah, and follow along. So, oh, 1 second. We gotta make sure we good on IG. Gotta check in with all the streams, make sure the platform's hitting like they're supposed to. So, is we twitching? Are we gramming? Are we on the ground doing what it's supposed to do? Is the Twitch working like it's supposed to work? Yeah, we gotta stay on point. We gotta stay on beat with it. We live on Twitch. We live on Twitch. 1 second. So all y'all, wherever you listening from, tell us where you coming from. And tomorrow we want to know what y'all holding, what you got going on, what you want to look at. Tell us what charts is going on. I think Friday like a recap day. We're gonna probably try to recap and do some different things. So yeah. So with that being said, let's get into our screen sharing game. See what's going on. It is what it is, and I'm so tired. Okay, family. So we're sharing the screen. So we don't want to just get on here and just go straight to the charts every time. I understand that charts can be a little bit intimidating for people, a little bit daunting. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's check out Investopedia because that is a go-to resource for us. Yeah, but every time, sometimes people see candlestick charts, they automatically assume like it's not for them, it's over their pay grade. Like, I don't understand what's going on when they see the candlesticks. So it's good to understand these things at a fundamental level, right? And like I said, for the last 10 years plus, and we got videos coming about this on Investing Yahuwah. Again, looking at investing from a Hebrew perspective, understanding what is money, right? What is money? In the Hebrew sense, money is basically commodities, silver and gold. That was money in the scripture days. Silver is money, right? Today, they call it a commodity, and the stuff that they call money is derivatives, paper, and derivative assets, stocks, bonds, whatever. Those like money equivalents, and even money, the paper money is fiat, right? So it's not the same thing that our forefathers used, and that is very important. If this investment advisory has taught you anything, or learned anything, or gave you any facts or any perspective on history, is to understand that biblical money or sound money, silver and gold, basically, and today what people call money is not the same thing. Fiat currencies are not the same thing as actual raw materials. So let's read the definition. Okay, this video playing already. 1 second. It's only a minute and 30 seconds. Maybe we watch it. What are commodities? What are commodities? Understand their role. Sounds good. We can learn something from this. Commodities are raw materials used to manufacture consumer products. They are inputs in the production of other goods and services rather than finished goods sold to the consumers. That's not completely true. You know what I'm saying? Silver and gold you can buy straight to the consumer. In commerce, commodities are basic resources that are interchangeable with other goods of the same type, like corn, soybean, pork bellies, cattle, et cetera, et cetera. Those are all commodities. In commerce, commodities are basic resources that are interchangeable with other goods. May differ slightly, but it is essentially uniform across producers, right? talking about corn or gold. When traded on the exchange, oh yeah, when traded on the exchange, commodities are also meet specified minimum standards, also known as a basis grade. Yeah, so 1 second. So that's simple definition. We can watch the video. Yeah. Yeah. So again, good used in commerce that is interchangeable with other commodities of the same type. Commodities are most often investors and traders can buy and sell commodities directly in a spot or cash market or via derivatives such as futures and options. So I think definitely today is a good day to talk about futures and options. So I think as I continue to work out this pattern, because I didn't want to leave this out, and I was just listening to some financial content earlier, and we were just talking about options, about again how a large percentage of traders are trading options more often now and making a lot of money. And I have traded options before. I made money with options. I've lost money with options, but I think that's something we have to begin to cover, even if it's on a basic level. All of these things are again uncorrelated to the stock market. Well, options and futures are correlated, but again, you can go long or short. So you have a unique ability to tailor a portfolio. So, but these are like more of the unconventional investments. Talking about commodities, the commodity market, period. Understanding what the commodity market is. Talk about understanding what the futures market is, the options market. When you talk about stocks, people be like, I'm new to investing. I don't know about that. Much less get to talking about commodities and options and futures. But on this channel, we gonna cover it. We have to cover it because we're not gonna leave our audience blind, and we want to again just really understand the investment universe. It's a lot of things to talk about. So hard commodities refer to energy and metals products, while soft commodities are often agricultural goods, which is good. I didn't really have that distinction and understanding before, but it's good to make that distinction because I'm definitely thinking about hard commodities. Soft commodities, again, agricultural goods, it's definitely a separate market. Many investors view allocating commodities in a portfolio as a hedge against inflation. And this is the key right here. Why? Especially, this is huge when we talk about commodities right here. In the age of money printing, in the age of hyperinflation, inflation, stagflation, all the ways they want to mask what's really going on in society, which is all just a result of rampant money printing, which is, again, part of the reason why some savvy investors have chosen to diversify, right, their portfolio, diversify their life, diversify their home country, diversify our real estate portfolios, diversify all these things. We got to diversify because runaway government spending is a big deal, and inflation is the result and the cause of that, right? So for many investors, allocating towards commodities, silver, gold, and again, even soft commodities, whether that's cows, cattle, corn, mangoes, whatever it may be, agricultural products are a hedge against inflation because as inflation go up, these things go up in value as well. So that's why we came to Investopedia, to really clarify, because I kind of knew that all of this stuff, but it's good to not only clarify for myself, but to share to people who do consider themselves new, right? And so when we talk about commodity market review, right, what to buy, what to sell, all the commodities pretty much are a buy, in this moment. And they were a buy last year, they were a buy 10 years from now, there was a buy 40 years from now. Again, in commodities, other hard commodities that they're not mentioning, I guess you want to throw this in. It's almost a different asset class, which may be tomorrow's market review, real estate. Point I'm getting at again, you look at commodities, gold, silver, it was a buy 50 years ago. If our grandfathers would have bought gold 100 years ago, we'll be up. If it would have bought silver 100 years ago and sat on it, put it in the vault somewhere, it did what it did. It do what it do. That's a hard commodity. It doing exactly what hard commodities do. If they would have bought a farm and had consistent production of orange juice or apples or cattle or sugar cane, whatever it would have been, it was worth less then than it is now. You know, it's worth more today than it was then. So commodities have always been a buy, and they still are a buy. And as things continue to creep up, owning our own food sources and et cetera, all these things are an absolute buy. Some commodities more important than others. So that's why we look at the charts, which ones are really moving more, right? So with that said, I don't want to spend too much time explaining this, but for this initial, it's the second week, but I'm still doing this commodity live stream. Let's talk about it. So let's watch this video from Investopedia to just solidify the conversation, right?
A commodity is a basic good used in commerce that is interchangeable with other commodities of the same type. Commonly traded commodities include gold, beef, oil, lumber, and natural gas. Additional examples of commodities include iron ore, crude oil, salt, sugar, tea, coffee beans, copper, rice, wheat, silver, and platinum. Commodities are basic because they have simply been grown or extracted from their natural state and brought up to a minimum grade for sale in a marketplace. There is no extra value added to them by the producer. Although the quality may differ slightly between producers, commodities by definition are very similar no matter who produces them. All commodities of the same grade are priced equally and are interchangeable. The most widely traded commodities have well-established markets. Investors buy and sell commodities through futures contracts on exchanges. The exchanges standardize the quantity and minimum quality of the commodity. For example, the Chicago Board of Trade stipulates that one wheat contract is comprised of 5,000 bushels. It also states what grades of wheat can be used to satisfy the contract. All wheat that meets that grade, no matter where it was grown, and despite slight variations in quality, will be sold for the same price.
Great example. Great example. So with that said, let's go over to
If you want to learn,
let's go over to our trading view to take a look at charts, right? And so that was the beginning. And so what we want to do is have a list of commodities that we look at. Again, we started last week taking a look at gold, silver, so yesterday was cryptocurrency day, and Ethereum is up today. Oh, it's up so far in the month. I don't want to peek too much at all these different if we confused, but yeah, futures contracts. We was talking about this yesterday, and gold is the main one. This is the big boy. Just like how in every sector, in every however you want to call it, every asset class or every major index or every asset class is one big monster, right? So cryptocurrency, when you say cryptocurrency, Bitcoin is number one. When you say stock market, again, it's a universe of thousands of stocks, small cap, medium cap, large cap. But when you say stock market, you think about the Dow Jones 30, NASDAQ, you think about Facebook, Tesla, Nvidia. It's a handful of things that are just giants when we talk about that asset class, when we talk about that asset class. So yeah, this couple things I was looking at. Oh, what screen we sharing? Oh, we on trick review. 1 second. So yeah. So that giant for commodities asset class is gold. And gold was slightly up to date. Man, gold is on the run. I mean, if you're watching this, comment, do you own any gold? What do you feel about commodities? Let us know who holding the gold. Who holding the gold? Bling, bling. Man, it's been took over since the 99 and the 2000s. I'm trying to tell you. So you see, again, we doing a weekly commodity market review, right? So everybody on the same page. And with that, consistency comes larger time frame, supply and load, some support and resistance, just to make the chart make sense a little bit. We see how this is going sideways. We see this range is in. That makes sense. It looks like that because we already looked at this chart last week. So, but stepping out a little bit, we see the run gold has been on the last year and a half. Again, gold from 1,800. Now we at 2,300. That's a lot. Again, when inflation taking place, inflation is a very real thing, and it's happening, family. So again, now we look at since 2020, gold was at 1,600. With the ebbs and the flows, it went sideways for a while, but recently, this year, that's basically beginning of this year, gold has broken out over it was hitting the ceiling at 2,000. Now it's at 2,400 in 3 months. That's not normal. That's not the average move for it. I don't know what percentage is that. Like 20%, something like that. 10%. It was at 2,000. It's up. Yeah. If it was at 2,000 all last year. 2,200 would have been 10% up for the year. It's at 2,400, 20% on the year. You see how doing that math, top of the dome, baby, 20%. And so you see what I'm saying? That just like, why are we looking at commodities, Dollar Yahoo? Tell me what else up 20% in the first half of the year. The stock market averaged 8% a year. Your bank account, they giving you 3%, right? They trying you. They treating you like a chump. You getting 1.25, some crazy low APR annual percentage rate. Cryptocurrency, like I said yesterday, is the greatest performing asset class of this generation. It's up like whatever, 1,000%. Bitcoin went from 20,000 2022 to 70,000 a year later, like 100% year over year, something like that. So cryptocurrency, greatest performing asset class of this generation, and nobody talking about that. That's why we got different days, because gold and commodities is one day. Just talk about this for an hour. But cryptocurrency was yesterday, like, and again, Bitcoin is the big one, but it's a universe of like, how many altcoins it is? How many different things you gotta be keeping track of, and it's like really money being made from all angles. And so in this day and age, for people to be broke, right, or not have nothing, no type of motion, is, what I'm saying? Like, you ain't paying attention to nothing. But anyway, gold is on a nice run right now. It's something we want to pay attention to. Again, this is our hedge against inflation. Inflation will only continue going forward in our lifetime, period. Nothing will be the same anymore, until whatever happened with the United States happened, whatever the world order that's changing goes through. We're in a changing environment, and it's like you got to be paying attention to this stuff. And I've been there. I've been out the country 2016, I left my stock account alone or took everything out and moved out the country, whatever. And you go somewhere far off, and then you find yourself somewhere else outside the country looking at the stock market again. It's still going up. No matter what happened, what you think gonna happen macroeconomic wise, certain things gonna keep going. It's gonna keep climbing, and that's what I learned. So you got to stay abreast to this stuff. I've been again out of the country, and you traveling, and you don't look at the stock market for a year or so. It's been you in another country building a house or something like that, and you go back a year later, you check it back out again. It's up 20%. It might be down. I've been out sometime, and then okay, that was a good time to take profit. The market back the same spot, but the point is things continuing to move, and that's how it's gonna be. And everything is reflecting on charts. That's how it's gonna stay. And gold is one of the asset classes that you have to pay attention to. Again, not just as the flight to safety, but hedge of protection against the fiat currencies, because it's important for us to understand, watching, investing your silver and gold is biblical money. It's biblically sound money. That's what they use when they talk about. Anytime you see money translated in the Bible, that's kasaf. The word is kasaf in the Hebrew or the Abadi. That's the word for silver. They didn't know money made with paper. They didn't do that. So that's important to note, family. So we got to chart these things. We got to stay on top of it. We already had some technical analysis done and just some rough review or overview from last week. So we looking back at the charts weekly. We want to pay attention to this to see if it break up, it break out, or it break down. Is it a good time to buy or a good time to sell? But I'm telling you, it's always good to be accumulating a position in gold and silver. So if it do break down, buy. If it break out, get it. You know what I'm saying? Before it go, eventually it's gonna double. We sit here in 2024, May 2024, we talking about gold at 2,500, right? I promise you, as we continue Yahuwah willing, being consistent with this, a year from now, 2 years, 3 years from now, gold at 5,000 an ounce, 5,000. So picture that, 5,000 gold, an ounce of gold, 5,000 USD. But if the money ain't worth nothing, that's the real key. Like, what are you pricing it in? What can you compare it to gold? And so I want y'all to really open up our minds, and at a certain point, we have to start realizing what's going on. You feel like you trading your money for gold, but soon other people are gonna be trading their gold for money. If you get what I mean, like we should be trading in the worthless paper fiat currency for gold, because gold is actually worth something. And if you keep comparing things and pricing in dollars, it's only gonna get more expensive. But if you're saying, what can I buy with this gold? You're gonna get more and more for that piece of gold because its value gonna increase. And it's something I've seen as an investor, right, in commodities over time. So that's why we're paying attention to this, and that's what's going on, family. So glad y'all can join us. Appreciate everybody who's following along. Hit us up on the Twitch. If you follow us on Twitch, tap in, like it, give us a thumbs up on YouTube, follow, subscribe, share, because it's relevant for everybody. And and it's not enough of us actually paying attention to this. I was just telling my wife that, just talking like about some of these videos or some important topics you see people talking about, it have like so many little views. But if you're talking about rap beef or something like that, video getting 2 million views in an hour, everybody paying attention to this. So we got to be more cognizant. And man, let's look at silver, family. And just by the way, just looking at stock market is down today, S&P down, dollar index, just for reference. So let's look at our commodities. Again, checking out gold. Gold is healthy right now. It's just touching these all-time highs. It's as high as it ever been. But it's 2025. It's 2024. It's 2025. Gold not gonna be at 1,200 forever. So we gotta let them live. Let gold live a little bit. It's actually going sideways, nicely consolidating. And yeah, I'm feeling like drawing today. I want to just highlight some things for the people. And I think, it's good to, as we talk about doing technical analysis and all that, continue to use the drawing tools, illustrate the chart a little bit more, make it a little bit more illustrated, so the things we're talking about can be clearly seen. And that's what we're here for, to make it, relevant, to make this, wait, chill. What's going on? We want to make it relevant. We want to make it teachable, understandable. So let's just say it's our trend line right here. It's our trend line from this low at 1,800. What it was last year? October 23 was the last really dip below. It took off from there. That was the last dip, the last touch of the lower Bollinger Band, basically. And from there, we've been taking flight. And if you look at the touch points, we draw a trend line and we project this out, you'll be happy if gold come back to 2,200 and you get a chance to buy in, right? So that's what we want to do. We taking the time to do a little technical analysis to see what is a reasonable level, but happy. But so futures, what's up with the silver? Look at silver last week. Is it for the start of this chart? I thought I start gold. G clad in the rocket in the save our chart for this. We under our invest in Yahuwah for trading view account, and the goal is to do everything that's involved with this live stream and the technical analysis we're doing under this account. So again, our progress can be saved. The thing when we come back to gold next week, It might be down at the trend. It may be down and giving us a buying opportunity. We want to just stay reminded of that and just keep what we got on the chart. So, and it help us out again, make us a better investor. So, we looking for silver and talking about commodities. This is one of the biggest. This is research we could do. We could talk about how big of a market is, how big of a market is gold or silver. But we know talking about commodities and the worldwide commodities and just the importance on global trade and stuff. Oil is like so big, right? So big. It's a huge market. A lot of what's happening right now, the geopolitical global tensions have to do with oil, with Russia, Ukraine, United States, China. A lot of this stuff has to do with oil. Some African countries, obviously the Middle East, OPEC, all the oil producing, exporting nations, countries, all that good stuff. Oil is huge. So, that's what I mean. It's hard to have an investment advisory or just talk about investment in general when we're not covering commodities, because commodities really shape a lot of what happens in the markets, right? So it's important to understand that. So let's check out crude oil again. Last week we started our technical analysis off just drawing. We don't want to zoom out too much, but we like to look at the monthly time frame to give us like a bird's eye view of the general trend of the stock, the market, and the asset class, right? So oil is down from the highs because $120 a barrel was high, but this was coming from the pandemic. Obviously, there was supply chain issues, quote unquote, Russia, wars, a lot of geopolitical tensions, and oil went up as a result of that. Sanctions against Russia. So all this stuff is very relevant. But the supply has begun to meet demand, which is what creates a market. So when we say market analysis, this and that, talking about supply and demand imbalances. So it's balanced out, and gold is, oil, specifically light crude oil futures, right? And we watched that, talking about commodities. Futures are a part of the commodities market because the commodities, which are things that are extracted from the earth, are traded in forward-looking contracts. So we talk about how companies like cereal companies like Kellogg's or General Mills buys their wheat or their corn in futures contracts. They securing the crop for next year because they make cereal. So they need to make sure we already paid for the corn, right? That's part of being prudent in business, making sure you already securing your raw materials. So the commodities market is huge because, again, a lot of companies need the raw materials. So it's reflected in the commodities prices are reflected in the futures market. That's what I'm trying to explain. I hope that made sense. I hope that example made sense. If it didn't, leave a comment. We could go into that more. But anyway, so we zooming out a little bit, from 2021, it ran up to 120, came back down to as low as $60, $70. Now we're somewhere right in the middle. Let's break down to a little bit more. Weekly chart, and we see we right in the middle again. I think I was just talking about this recently. Still closer to the bottom than to the top, but that's good for oil prices. That's good for economies everywhere that the price of oil stabilized. And we just want to take a look at it because this screams certain things. Imagine if it was at $100 again today, that would be telling me a couple things. And not only can we again make trades and place not bets, but we can make trades right on the futures contracts to make money off this stuff. But this would be great economic indicators as to what to look for in our own local economies. Because if I saw oil at $100 a barrel, that would tell me gas is going up in my area or wherever I am, right? So that's stuff like that is just, it's important to pay attention to. I don't think I can say it any better, right? Or explain it any better. That's why we taking a look at it. That's why we stand up on it. And yeah, that's cool. So it's so many commodities to check out. We're going to skim through the chart. We already did some basic analysis, and you see things haven't changed much, which is kind of good. If things are sideways, seemingly, that's pretty good. And it may seem like that, right? Like it's sideways or whatever. We're not going into the daily chart. We're not going to the 15-minute chart, the 5-minute chart. Obviously, if we was trading on a more fractal short-term time frame, we could, right? But that's not what we're doing. It's a general overview for the market, right? And like I said before, what to buy, what to sell. So silver, man, this is right. Look at this. You see, this is historic right now. This silver is breaking out, man. I'm gonna make a video on silver. Lay around for it next week. Yahuwah willing, Yahuwah Rapha. Invest in Yahuwah. What is money to Hebrew? What is money in Hebrew? All that stuff. Money in the Hebrew culture. I've been working on the script. I got to shoot it, posted to YouTube. But this is important. Silver is what was called money in the Bible. They use silver for transactions, and it's something I have to talk about here on Invest in Yahuwah. Let me pause for a minute from the chart analysis and just talk about this very important perspective, because that is why I'm doing this channel from, I said, Hebrew perspective and advancing the financial discussion in the Hebrew community, right? Because I hate when I see people talk about the history of money and they talk about how, oh yeah, we used to be trading, we was in the dinosaur age and we was trading seashells and we didn't know what money was until a million years later, and then that's how we got the paper money. But that's not true. It's not biblically accurate and it's not biblically sound. It's not true at all. We always knew what money was, especially Hebrew people, melanated people. There was never any confusion. We was not trading seashells. We was not trading roses for gold or nothing like that. We already knew it's simple. If you go back to Genesis, it tells you when Abraham was traveling to the promised land where Yahuwah told him to go, and he went to bury his wife. Sarah died, and he went to bury his wife. He bought a field from the Hittites, the people who amongst whom he was living. And it tells us he paid the money for that field. It say money, but it literally say 400 shekels or whatever it may be, 400 pieces of silver. So from the beginning, we've been using silver as money, and we have been using coins, and we have been using commodities. We never, like all this dinosaur age rhetoric, or we was trading like seashells at the beginning, or like there's no proof of that. Like that's it's a fairy tale. That's a fairy tale. But again, what we rooted in the truth, so we understand what is sound money, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a whole. We definitely can make a whole video on that. We need to break that down. But silver is breaking out. It hasn't been this high in years. Like I've been investing in silver for a while. Like silver was sub 20 for a while, 14, 15, 16. I was buying silver all that time. 20, 25, it was expensive. Like $20 was, silver has always been around $20. Now silver breaking out over 30. Silver at $32. So what is that saying? What is that saying? That's saying inflation. So who else is on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram? Who else out here talking about commodities? Who else out here talking about the silver chart? Nobody. Anybody talking about silver? So these are all the reasons why it's relevant. These are the reasons why you need to invest in Yahuwah. You need to click that follow, like, subscribe, share, all that. We coming with it consistently, talking about the finance, because that's what we do. Be honest, I got different businesses, property management, this, that, nini. But generally, it all come back down to investing, financial literacy, finance, and this is exciting. Like, look at this chart. I wonder what is going to go next. Like, look at these huge green candles. Like, silver is breaking out, and it's so exciting. Like, wow, especially, do you own silver? Check me out. Turn me up, baby. So, again, just breaking it down a little bit, going to the weekly. It's an up week. Last 3 out of 4 been up, and silver is doing pretty good. Like, I don't know when the last time, you just go back in the monthly chart. I don't know when the last time silver has been this high. 2012. Haven't been this high since 2012. And I remember 2011, silver was at $40. I remember that. I think I bought some pieces, a couple pieces then. Like, I don't know. Been buying it for a long time. But look how it crashed from $40 all the way down up below 20. I remember it went to 14. Anyway, the point is, these charts, it shows us information, right? Historical price action. Like, it's important to know as silver reaches $30 that it's not an all-time high. It's been there before, right? And it also has came back down from them levels too. So it's important for us to pay attention to and exercise some diligence when we invest in, and understanding that it can return. So anyway, the point is, watching these charts is like the beginning, but it's also important to understand the market for some of these commodities has been manipulated. You know, silver and gold have been kept like artificially low for a long time, and you know, kind of distorted by the governments because they printing so much money. If you knew the actual real value of silver, the silver that above ground and the gold that's above ground, it's more than they putting on these charts or on these exchanges and future contracts. But all the market makers are in the same position, you know. So that's important to understand. So commodities is like the real value of the commodities not even really understood. You know, a lot of people don't even understand. Like the commodities are worth even more than you think they were. So you know that's why we're talking about it here. We kind of understand that. And so let's continue our analysis. We looked at silver, gold, crude oil, and actually there's so many more commodities to check out. And we looked at the definition of commodities. So let's check out crude oil again. Let's look at natural gas. I think natural gas had a great looking chart. Right. This is why we draw the lines on the chart. Because again, from a first glance, it's important to see how natural gas per contract, however they issue it out. And like some accounts I can't even get into right now, but right now it's time to buy natural gas. Like it's super cheap. So it's like not all-time lows, but it's in demand zone. When you see stuff like this is how you take sniper trades right here. This is like I live for these type of chart setups, and this is what you have to begin to look at. You know, it's so much money being created in these markets and just in the open market. Period is amazing, but these type of chart setups are amazing. Look, when you see a asset come back down to a level that it previously took off from, and that's not guaranteed. Like this gonna go back up to $7 or $9 per contract, you know, overnight. But it just shows you a general direction and that a turnaround is coming. It shows you an area of liquidity where support has held before. It shows you where institutional people are willing to come in under this level and buy. And obviously, this is a commodity. So that's another thing about commodities. Unlike stocks or cryptocurrencies, which are like a shot in the dark sometimes, natural gas not going to zero. People gonna always need that. You know, people in the United States, in the northern parts of the states that go through cold winters and they use gas, price of gas. But that's another thing. It's seasonal. That's another thing to remember with commodities. Some commodities are seasonal. It's the summertime, right? So seasonally and reasonably, we should expect what? Natural gas prices to be low. People use natural gas. Obviously, it's a commodity. People use natural gas for cooking on barbecue grills, and they go exchange their tanks and stuff like that. But natural gas is used most heaviest and like is most used by Americans in the winter time in the cold states. Places like the tri-state area, New Jersey, New York, Boston, Massachusetts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Canada, whatever, cold places in developed nations, they use natural gas for heating, for cooking, for water heaters, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's seasonal type of thing. But summertime, imagine that, summertime buy, wintertime sell. So it's seasonal patterns like this that you want to watch out for. And it's like, this is another reason, like I said, I don't want to spend always too much time looking at the charts, because I know charts can be intimidating for some people. But you have to look at, understand historical price action, price data, historical data, and it just helps us make more informed purchase decisions, right? But just know it's been as high as $9 and it's been as low as $2 before, and it's went back to the high. That gives us a certain probability, right? We're making a trade, so that's important. So it's important to just start wrapping our heads around charting a little bit, and of course we're gonna create more resources to help people learn about this stuff. So yeah, let's continue, man. Market review, what to buy, what to sell. Natural gas, a big buy right now. Let's talk about copper and Hang Seng Index. We gotta check out the Chinese stock market on Monday too. Again, that's a whole day. Maybe have to be 2-hour show just talking about the stock market, because us being international, right? Financial advisory and financial literacy advocates, our scope of investment is like, it's not just we're not just talking about NASDAQ no more over here. We in East Africa broadcasting, so we got African markets that are paying is really stable, and they paying very good dividends and good rates for holding money, fixed income, stock market, in as small as it may be, is set for huge growth. And a few companies that are listed on the stock market in these African countries are poised for tremendous growth. So many more markets to cover. Again, just looking at the Hang Seng, which is the China stock market, which is up 25% this year. It's a lot going on, a lot to cover. So this is why we stream it 5 days a week, because when I really step back and look at it, it's like, how can I stay on top of all this? How can I cover everything? But with the help of Yahuwah, right? Check out the copper futures. Copper, wow, you see, we were just looking at this last week. It didn't look like this. This is a new, it's a month. We looking at the calendar for this month. And did it look like this? Nah, okay. So week before last, in the last week, it did. Like, it just touched like another all-time high, a relative high in copper. And now it's coming back down and falling a little bit. So it's important to watch what's going on, but copper is up there. It's up there. And so let's continue to go through these charts. And again, for anybody who don't know, if you're saying, well, like, Daliahu, why are we looking at this? How can I trade this? How can I play this? How can I make money off this? That would be in the futures market. Just you go open up a brokerage account, and if you have the ability to trade futures, you can pull up these contracts. Crude oil contract, futures, copper, silver, gold, future contracts, all this stuff you can invest in. You can trade just like stocks, even more stable than stocks, because the futures contracts for gold might go down, or silver or copper, it might go down, but it's not going out of business. And the futures contract gonna always be worth something. So yeah, it's just more of a time date game you playing with the time lapse of the situation. Anyway, so what to buy, what to sell? It's time to sell copper now. It's pretty high, and that's it's a commodity that's relatively abundant. So it's like, it ain't gonna never go as high as gold or something like that. And like, it's just gonna keep shooting up. It's pretty much in the range, and yeah, it's important. So it's important to watch this stuff. Micro gold futures. We watch that. We watch gold futures. We don't need to see gold. Micro gold. We watch silver, gold, crude oil, natural gas, which is a buy, copper, a sell, treasuries. That's so funny. Well, we need to pay attention to treasuries. I don't know. Platinum. Just to look at it. Crude palm. We looked at that palm oil. Palm oil is big in Africa. Ghana. Yeah, platinum is high, but platinum been around $1,000 an ounce forever. Like, I'm not a fan of platinum. Like, it's not. We gotta look. We can research what's the industrial uses of it, but it's like not that in demand. It's not as popular of a metal or precious metal asset as silver or gold. That's for sure. Cool palm oil. Sideways, nice consolidation pattern. Not just consolidation, but it's doing what it's supposed to do, right? Doing what it's supposed to do. Stuff like this, palm oil. Pretty consistent. We know they get this from Ghana. When I was in Ghana, they use palm oil for everything. It's a huge commodity. They make a lot of this in Africa, and the price is pretty stable. It's pretty stable right now per contract. That's good to see. Actually, like 2021, 2020, 2021, like everything, the global market, pandemic, the supply chain disruptions caused a lot of things to kind of get out of whack. But no, it's pretty consistent. The market for palm oil, and it's a good oil, very versatile oil. So that's something to pay attention to. Wheat futures. I just talked about the cereal makers, manufacturers of cereal, etc., etc. Nini. Soybean. Yeah, we gotta check out soybean. We know America is big producers of soybean, corn. So I think them are our top. Cocoa. We know Africa is a big producer of cocoa. So yeah, some of these ones. Let me see. We're gonna make sure we going back to it. I was gonna say some of these ones we haven't drawed out our levels yet. We can draw our levels. So we just gonna go through these commodities. Make sure we got our levels drawn. Wheat is going. We taking off right now. 2024. Yeah, they slept on wheat. 52. Whatever. 500. 20. 25, 70. Whatever the wheat contracts was going for. That little range is popping out. Wheat is popping out. And these things you gotta pay attention to, man. Talking about famine and scarcity. That's how it's gonna come. And you could be enough. If you pay attention to the chart, you could be made enough to buy all the wheat fields in your country. You know what I'm saying? Because just paying attention to what happened. And one thing I want to point out as I look at this wheat chart, I love this right here in trading. Seeing this right here. Give me 1 second. When you see this is how you know the trend is changing. Yeah, so you see this? It's like a little double tap. So it was like it came down to a level, bump, then went up, and then came back and touched that same level. So right here, it came down, touched this level, and it touched this ball and Bollinger Band, right? At this level where around 521. Came up, so we see, potential change in the uptrend, the downtrend change to uptrend. It's not confirmed. It made a little higher low, higher high right here. Came up, bounced up. This was some weeks, like a week at a time. So, and then it came back down, touched this same level, found support in the same level, and you see this right where we drew our support zone at, supply resistance, supply area, the area where people are coming in and putting money up under this asset class and buying it. And that's what's sending the price back the other direction. So since then, touching 520, we got 570, now it's at 680. So we trying to do something, and we here for it. We're gonna pay attention to that. And let's keep riding. So I'm gonna have to make a list. Our top 10 commodities. So every week we know which ones we're checking on, and we going right back to it. Future soybean is so important. We don't eat soybeans, but soybeans and corn, those are big inputs to agribusiness, basically farm food, cattle business, basically. A lot of that corn, a lot of that soybean that America grow, all these countries grow that got GMO companies lobbying for these products and stuff. A lot of those grains don't even go to people. They give it to the animals. So your cow eating it, it's in your beef, whatever. So soybeans are kind of important. It's kind of important because it's a telltale sign. And also, it's really representing America. America subsidizes this industry like very heavily. And that's important to know. So soybeans like looking like it's around this all-time, not lows, but they ain't doing too much. But we paying attention. We here for it. We paying attention. Yeah, so from here to here, that's a wide camera. Maybe I'm gonna just put it here. Yeah, so soybeans been going down kind of recently. I don't even know what's the best place to draw where it will stop besides this area right here where we see our move took off from, right? Let me make this a little bit wider. The move took off from right here. It retraced right here. Now it's coming down, but this area right here, we expect to hold again. If it come back down to 883, 880, or anything like that, we expect that to hold. So, very important. Know that. Oh man, I'm sorry, y'all. This is how I know it's time for me to slide. But so again, I tap in whoever liking, watching, like this, subscribe, all that. Stay connected. Yeah. Silver, gold, soybeans. I want to look at something else. Wheat, soybeans, So what did we say about soybean? It's just off its lows. Soybean to buy. Don't play with it. Corn futures. Corn. You corn on the cops. Corn is down right now. They flooding the U.S. market with corn. They flooding the whole world with this corn. We got to pay attention to that very closely. But it looks like it's a buy. It's doing good. It's at these lows pretty much. And may stay low, but it looks like it's time for a turnaround as it consolidates and it drifts over and not down. Yeah, probably gonna go to this 520 level, touch this right here, and then we'll see how far it retreat. But yeah, it's doing what it do. It's doing what it do. Yeah, I think it was good. We took a look at that definition, got that out of the way, understood some things together, and yeah, just stay with keep our eyes on the chart. Cocoa. Last market review breakdown. Wow. You see, I was here last week and just looking at, wow, cocoa is going crazy. Ghana is making money. It's important, right? African countries produce a lot of cocoa. Cocoa is up. The price is up for the futures. People securing this stuff at a higher rate, or they're willing to pay more for it. That's important. It's kind of important. It's kind of important. So, yeah, we got a mixed market. You know, our review going on, a lot happening. Commodities. So what's the top 10 commodities? Huh? What's the top 10 commodities, y'all? Top 10, what is it? We got gold. We got silver. We checked out we charted all these things. Gold, silver, copper. We checked out copper. Cooper, copper, police hopper. Yeah, all right. Check out a few years. Gold, crude oil. Yeah, we gotta check that out. Yeah, man. What y'all doing, man? Y'all gaming on what? What y'all got going on? Yeah, just let me make this top 10 list right quick. So we already know what time it is. Silver, gold, copper, crude oil. What did I leave out? Crude oil, natural gas. Make sure we got the list going on. Natural gas. I know that I got a different meaning for some of y'all. Y'all giving out too much natural gas. You gotta watch yourself. You gotta watch yourself, man. Pay attention. So Bitcoin, crude oil futures, natural gas, copper futures, Platinum. Well, I'm not gonna follow platinum. Palm oil. We got palm oil, wheat. Top 10 commodities. Top 10 commodities. I wonder what's the top 10 commodities in America. This is just generally for our list. Trading worldwide, market view, top 10 commodities. Yeah, we gotta pay attention to this. Soybeans. Yeah. Y'all tell me if y'all know about any of these. If you're growing anything, if you got exposure to commodities in any way, tap in with us. Let's talk about it. Tell us what's going on. Soybean futures, wheat futures. We talked about that. Get our chart. Corn. Don't forget the corn on the cob. Some people are so corny. You corny. Corn and what else? Might be it. Cocoa, coffee. Wow. Soybeans, corn. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, man, Africa got a lot going on. From the palm oil to the coffee to the silver to the gold, we got so much. We invested in so much going on. Let me see. It was one thing on here I didn't chart. One thing I didn't see. Cocoa. We talked about that. What that was? Corn. What I was just looking at. Yo, excuse me. I'm trying to make sure I get it right, y'all. Trying to make sure I get it right. Soybeans, that coffee. Yeah, we didn't look at coffee before. Remember that. Some time ago we did, but coffee up, boy. People with a coffee farm, people making money with coffee. So it's a lot going on, family. It's a lot going on. We gotta stay on point, man. Stay on beat. Matter of fact, let me zoom out. Ooh. Okay, so I don't know when I'll do these lines, but we gotta update this. And coffee been in the range anywhere from 143, 155 to as high as this recently, as high as 245, between 245, 210. That is the sell zone. You see, last time it came up in that zone, it got knocked down. So right now, it's the time to sell. This is the time to sell coffee. Time to sell coffee. Just think about that. It sounds good, man. It sounds like, it's really on something. It's been an hour. We want to stay on our hour time frame. Man, I appreciate y'all joining us. I hope y'all learned something from the commodity explanation, from the chart analysis of a couple different leading products in the commodity sector. Again, commodities are a real thing. It's a part of our investment universe and spirit. And we appreciate y'all for tapping in, watching with us, learning with us. Don't forget, please, if you watch the video, got anything from it, like it, share, subscribe, comment, tell us where you're from, tell us what you're holding. You got gold, silver, or you holding coffee beans. Talk to me. Shalom, y'all.